down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
What's going on, Savvy Investors? This is your friend, Steve VanCauwenbergh, International Nobody. That's me, the Savvy Landlord, Steve VanCauwenbergh. You tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show, the only place to bring it for real. Like I'm doing it every day, in the grind, trying to find cribs, trying to remodel cribs, dying and surviving. Only hope is to give you some inspiration and for you not to do what I do by failing forward. So anyway, I got this young friend of mine who is new to real estate. He's actually been in my world for a very long time. He's seen me when I had maybe 5 units, maybe 10 units. I don't even remember, but he has been hanging out. We've been friends ever since. And then he's getting older. So he's clicking up there. He maybe hit 40 this year. I'm not really sure how old he is, but we've been friends for more than 5 years, close to 10. And all of a sudden, all these years, after 10 years, I have been telling this dude, get a rental property, buy assets, build wealth. And I think it finally hit this dude so hard that he is extremely motivated. He just texted me earlier, hey, what book should I read for creative financing, or multiple books, plural? What would you read? What a great question. Well, let me answer that question. That might be, and you already know the answer, but one of the very first books I think every real estate investor or wannabe investor is check out Nothing Down by Robert G. Allen. It's a wonderful book. It's one of the very first books that I ever read. And the book is a premise of that years ago in the 80s, LA Times did a story on this guy that he was buying houses with no money down. No one could believe him. And they gave him a challenge. Like they dropped him off with $100 in cash in the middle of LA. And the dude locked up like 4 or 5, 6 houses. Google it up. And had money to spare. So it's just an inspirational story, but it really tells you how to be creative and thinking outside the box. And then his other book, he also has a book called Multiple Streams of Income, and that's not what this episode is all about, but I'm going to finish it up with this one. Another amazing book is called Creating Wealth by Robert G. Allen, and seriously, that was probably the paradigm shift for me, where Rich Dad Poor Dad got me rolling, sold everything, started buying assets. And then Robert G. Allen's book, Creating Wealth, it's like, look, you can be a millionaire net in 10 years if you just follow that plan. And so I basically read the plan, followed the plan, and just accelerated it by X-fold. So these are 2 great books I do recommend. If you're serious about real estate investing, you can get them for $4 on Amazon used. You can go to abebooks.com, ABEBOOKS.com. Find it for $3.95. Of course, you can find it on Amazon. So what is this episode about? Well, this episode is, what if you're a new investor and if you study personalities, C, I'm a D, I'm a driver, the DISC personality profile. I may have covered an episode on that, but anyone that I try to help or that wants some sort of a coaching of sorts, I'm like, dude, you got to master DISC. So you can know how to talk to people, especially sellers, but you can communicate with your wife better, and you know about yourself better. So I'm a D, I'm a driver, obviously, entrepreneur-ish. Well, my boy, he is a C. It's a high analytical, detailed person. So all of you that just started laughing, yep, that's you. A majority of America is a C personality. You analyze everything. And I realized when I started looking at my group of friends that I love so much that are in my life are always C's. And they're the ones that keep me grounded. Like, we're going to go build a building. Like, you don't have the money in the bank account, and I'm going to prove you wrong. C personality, watch me, and I'm going to get it done. I'm a broad strokes guy. C personalities are detailed and want facts, okay? So anyway, I got this friend. He's a relatively new investor trying to break into the game. In a lot of the years of counseling or coaching or whatever you want to call it, friendship, and I realized that what's been holding him back has basically been his personality. And if you study personal development at all, it's analysis paralysis, that high detailed people, they don't move out of the couch because they don't have the money. Or they calculate that they only make $30,000 a year or $100,000 a year, and there's no way that I can do it. And so these poor people are not poor to be negative, but these people that have analysis paralysis, I have a heart for them. They tremendously help me. And so this episode is dedicated to you, anal detail people that don't invest, that are insecure because not all the dominoes lay where they need to lay. And so this mental game, I don't have the money, and I've been beating in this individual for over 5 to 10 years. I'm like, you always should say, how can I? If I can do it, Steve VanCauwenbergh from the hood, from New Jersey, all right, New Jersey, single mom, brother in a foster home, going nowhere real fast. My dream in my entire life was just to live in a house. I grew up in an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment. I moved around every 4 years. My mom worked 3 jobs. The only thing that I would ever want in life was just to have my own bedroom. My poor mom lived in the living room. That was it, right? Simple goal. And that dream has come into fruition by owning real estate. I've mastered that dream because I figured, how can I? And so the number one thing that you need to do, don't worry about that you don't have the money. Don't worry about how you're going to get the money. And, this is cliche. All real estate investors say this. They say, well, if it's a good enough deal, you'll find the money. Well, let me tell you something. That is extremely true. If you don't have the money will follow. Now, you can easily turn into a wholesaler. And this conversation with my friend earlier said, well, maybe I should wholesale. Nope. This is what you need to do. He has walked past so many wonderful deals because he feels that he can't close them, or he feels like he doesn't have the exact money. For some odd reason, he feels insecure about real estate investing. And you shouldn't feel about that. Like I was trying to say before, some broken dude like myself can do it, and I don't even have the education as a detailed individual does, so why can't you? So the first thing that you need to do, regardless, is that you should lock up the contract. Well, what do you mean? If you don't know the value of the property yet, you need to do some research, maybe listen to some more podcasts. But if the house is worth $100,000 and you think it is, even if it's based off of Zillow, but if you know, or you ask somebody the house is worth $100 and you can lock it up for $60, obviously, if you have bank funding or no bank funding, that's what you need to do, is lock it up. Now, what do you do after you lock up the contract? If you're insecure about contracts, and I'm going to cover that episode here pretty soon, read the contract. And if you can't read the contract, ask somebody to interpretate the contract for you so you understand. But whatever it is, put your John Hancock on a contract, and now that piece of paper has value. It may not have value to you because you think that you can't close the deal, or you think that you're not worthy, or you think that you don't have the money. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is that you have a $100,000 house, ARV, what the value is, and you've locked this bad boy up for $60. Congratulations. Let me take over. Let me give you my phone number. You can email me and I'll take over from there. But here's the thing. You should hold on to this deal. You have so many options. So here's the deal. You can go get a bank loan. Well, Steven, that's so easy. I'm a self-employed person. Okay, well, that may be difficult, but if you have a W-2 job, probably getting a rental problem, that's what it becomes, a rental property, it may take some maneuvering. You might have to learn a financial statement. Yeah, you might have to cut out some cable, and might have your income to debt ratio maybe out of whack, but you can fix that in a short amount of time. You have another option, is that you can find private money. That could be anyone. That could be your neighbor. It could be your family member. It could be the guy down at your job who just willed money. I was speaking to another friend today, and he got willed money and he put that money to work. Well, some people don't know how to put that money to work, and real estate is a collateralized asset that you can borrow money against, and it's safe for the person that's loaning you money, because if you default, they get a property. So if you called me up today and said, VanCauwenbergh, would you loan me $60,000 on a $100,000 property? I'm going to put $10,000 of my own money in the property. Would you loan me? Absolutely. I might say $55,000 and make you work a little bit harder, but I would loan you that money. And I hope that you don't default. But if you did default, guess what? I paid 55 cents on the dollar. Yep, $55,000 on a $100,000 asset that now I own. Now I'm stuck with this asset. This is the worst case scenario. This is called a default. But I know in real estate that I could turn around and sell that thing for 65 cents on the dollar. Do the math. That's 10 G's for my labor and time. Now, of course, I'm going to charge you points on the front end. Now that's hard money / private money. Here's another option. You can get hard money. Yep. Hard money is your local individual group of investors or an individual by themselves that has money, and they charge a lot of money to borrow it. What's a lot of money? Some people get so effing jammed up that, oh man, they're paying 12% interest or 10%. Listen, you're borrowing someone else's money. Yep, you didn't bring any money to the table, and you're making money from that. I don't really care if I pay 20% interest on a transaction. For example, let me just give you a super basic example. Let's get back to the $100,000 asset that you locked up for 60. Bang, bang. But let's just say you locked it up for 20. Has that happened? Yeah, it's happened. Is it rare? Absolutely. But would you pay $30,000 to borrow $20,000? Now that's extreme interest, but I would borrow 10 G's. 20,000 and pay back 30 if I sold that bad boy for 60 cents on the dollar, 60,000. Or if I turn around and flip the contract, I had to close on it and I sold it for 40. What's my return on investment or my end money? It would be 10 G's. Yep, you pay back the original 20, you pay the hard money lender 10, and guess what? I pocket 10. We all win. But it didn't cost you any money. So people get all jammed up over interest rate or the cost of the money, and it's so mute if you're making money. Okay, now, and when I started this game, 1999, man, we're rocking on almost 20 years. I was paying 10% interest, and I was very ignorant to the situation. I was just so excited. Driven like I was going to die. I felt like real estate or Rich Dad Poor Dad was the cure for cancer. I don't have to be poor anymore. I don't have to be broke. I don't have to worry about an education because I don't have a degree, because I can't afford college, or I'm behind. I can be rich through real estate. Well, I started buying property at 10% interest from actually a mentor that got me going. The interesting thing, I wish I would have kept on a lot of those properties, but one of those properties that I owned for about 3 to 4 years, I didn't make any money, but I was paying $400 a month on an asset that was 10% interest. After 3 or 4 years, can't remember exactly, I still profited it. Yeah, I suffered. I had to put up the $400. I had no income. It was a vacant building. But eventually, when I sold that thing for $65,000, I bought it for $50,000. I made all of my payments back plus a profit. And, who cares that I pay 10%? Now, it depends on what I'm trying to do, if it's a short-term hold or a long-term hold. So there's options right there. Bank loan, private money, hard money loan, private money loan. And here's another option. Wholesaling. That's right. You can get a property if you're savvy enough to find a property, and you're savvy enough to negotiate from $100,000 down to 60 or even 70, you could turn around and sell it to a seasoned real estate investor, even if you only profit $500. I see young wholesalers get in the game, no education, start doing bandit signs, and want to score 10,000 on every transaction. Good luck. You're not going to last. You're going to burn out. But here's the deal. You can profit in this game even if you screw up. If you get it locked up and you get it for 70, and you turn around and sell it to somebody else for 70,500, you're making $500 and you have no money in the game. So here's the deal. Money does not matter. The deal matters. What really matters is, think about my poor homie, 10 years sitting on the sideline, watching me come from nothing to where I am today. I'm not saying that I'm better, or I hope this doesn't come across that I'm arrogant or better than you. What I'm trying to get to you very detailed analysis paralysis individual, you can do this. If you learn these basic principles, arithmetic, 100,000, figure out how it's worth. You could listen to my podcast, figure out how something's worth, grow some balls or some ovaries, roll down, read a contract, and convince this person to sell you their property. And at the end of the day, you will profit. And let's just say, for some odd reason, you're way off on your numbers, right, Mr. High C? And you're trying to do this perfect. At the end of the day, and the contract goes bust, you learned an education. And that's what's so great about real estate. Whatever you do by moving the ball forward, you're going to gain wealth of knowledge, actual tangible wealth, relationships. You're going to receive way more than you put in. But sitting on the couch, watching HGTV, dreaming about living your dreams is never going to happen. My name is Steve VanCauwenbergh. Yep. You listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Go to the website, savvyradioshow.com. Hopefully today you get off the couch, you go out there and buy some assets and grow and live your dreams. Have a great night, great day, do whatever, but go buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.